You made the last payment. After 30 years, the house is finally yours, free and clear, and you believe it is the one thing in this world that no one can ever take from you. That belief is exactly what the Internal Revenue Service, Medicaid, and even a stranger who knows your name are counting on. There are 5 quiet ways the home you own, free and clear, can still be taxed, seized, or signed right out from under your family. And most people never learn even one of them until the house is already gone. So stay with me to the end, because the last one arrives looking like a gift, and it is taking homes from families right now. And before I go any further, I want to say I am truly glad you are here, because this is exactly the kind of thing families never sit down and talk about until the day it is already too late to undo. You are doing the wise thing just by listening. And here is my promise to you. For every one of these 5 threats, I am going to give you the one simple step that shuts it down, so that you walk away from this not frightened, but ready. The first threat is one most people have never heard of until a letter arrives after a funeral, and it comes from Medicaid. Here is the trap. If you ever need a nursing home, and roughly 1 in 3 of us will, Medicare does not pay for it. Medicare stops after about 100 days. The only government program that covers long-term nursing care is Medicaid, and Medicaid is a poverty program that only steps in after your savings are nearly gone. While you are alive, your home is protected. But the day you die, a federal program called Medicaid Estate Recovery requires your state to add up every dollar it spent on your care and file a claim against your estate to get it back. And the biggest thing in your estate is the paid-off house. The home your children thought they were inheriting quietly becomes the state's reimbursement fund. This has been the law in every state since 1993. And the reason families only learn about it too late is that no one in the system has any reason to warn them. Now, I have made a separate video that walks through the legal strategies that protect the home from this, the trusts and the special deeds that have to be set up years ahead of time. So I will not repeat all of that here. The one thing to carry away today is this. If you own your home and there is any chance you will one day need care, this cannot be fixed at the last minute. The protections take years to become effective. So the move is to sit down with an elder law attorney while you are still healthy, long before you need anything at all. The second threat is the one that breaks my heart the most, because it is done out of pure love, and it hands a small fortune straight to the Internal Revenue Service. It is the moment a parent decides to add a son or a daughter to the deed of the paid-off home. It feels like the responsible thing to do. Put the child's name on the house now, they think, so that when I am gone, it passes to them smoothly, with no fuss and no court. But adding your child to your deed is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. And here is why. When you add your child to the title, in the eyes of the law, you are giving them a share of the house as a gift while you are alive. And a gift does not get what is called a step-up in basis. Let me explain what that means in plain words, because it is worth many thousands of dollars. Say you bought your home decades ago for $150,000, and today it is worth $500,000. If your children simply inherit that home after you pass away, the tax value resets to $500,000. And if they sell it, they owe little or nothing in capital gains tax. But if you added them to the deed while you were alive, they inherit your old price of $150,000 instead. And when they sell, the Internal Revenue Service taxes them on the $350,000 of gain. That can be a tax bill of $50,000, $60,000, even $70,000 on money they never needed to lose, simply because a name was added to a piece of paper too early. And the tax is not even the end of it. The moment your child is a legal owner of your home is exposed to their troubles. If that child is ever sued, goes through a divorce, or falls into debt, A creditor or an ex-husband or wife can come after their share of your house, the house you are still living in. And if you ever need Medicaid, giving away part of the home can trigger the very penalty that locks you out of care for months. So, what do you do instead? You do not add anyone to the deed. You keep the home in your own name and use a living trust, or in some states, a transfer on death deed. So, the home passes to your children the right way, with the tax reset kept intact and none of the exposure. It is the same goal reached in the one way that does not set off the bomb. The third threat proves the whole point of this video. That paid off does not mean safe, because it is the government being able to take a home you owe nothing on. It is your property tax. Even after the mortgage is gone, the property tax bill never goes away, and it is the one bill that can cost you the entire house. If you fall behind on your property taxes, your county can place a lien on your home. And if the taxes stay unpaid, the county can eventually foreclose and sell your paid-off house at a tax sale, over a debt that may be only a few $1,000s. For years, in many states, it was even crueler than that. The county would sell the home, take the few $1,000s it was owed, and keep all the rest of your equity, tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars that belong to you and your family. In 2023, the Supreme Court of the United States finally ruled that this practice, keeping the surplus, is unconstitutional. So today, the county must return the extra money to you. But hear me clearly. You still lose the house. Getting a check for the leftover after they have sold your home out from under you is not protection. So here's the part almost no senior knows. In most states, once you reach a certain age, you can apply to have your property taxes reduced, frozen, or in many places, deferred entirely, which means you don't pay them now at all. The state quietly carries the bill and settles it much later, out of the home, usually at a low rate of interest. For a senior on a fixed income who lies awake afraid of losing the house over a tax bill, that one application changes everything. But it is never automatic. You have to call your county and ask for it by name. The fourth threat does not come from the government at all. It comes from criminals, and they hunt on purpose for people exactly like you, seniors who own their homes free and clear. It is called deed fraud or home title theft. Here is how it works. A thief uses your personal information, much of which is already sitting online, to forge your signature on a deed, and then files that deed at the county recorder's office to make it look as though you sold or transferred your home to them. Then they try to borrow against it or sell it out from under you. And the people they target most are older homeowners with a lot of equity and no mortgage, because those owners often are not checking their property records week to week. Picture a widow who has lived alone in her paid-off home for years. She has no reason to look at the county records, so she has no idea that a stranger has filed a forged deed and taken out a loan against her house. Until the day a foreclosure notice arrives for a mortgage she never signed. By then, she is fighting to prove she still owns the home she has slept in every night for 30 years. This is not a rare story. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has reported that in a single year, victims aged 60 and older lost more than $76 million to real estate fraud. The good news is that protecting yourself is free and takes only a few minutes. Most counties in this country now offer a property alert service, sometimes called a fraud alert or a recorder notification, and it costs nothing to sign up. Once you are enrolled, the county sends you an email or a letter the moment any document is recorded against your home. So if someone ever tries to file a fake deed, you find out right away, while there is still time to stop it. Call your county recorder's office or look at their website and ask if they have a property fraud alert program, and put your name on it today. And if you already have owner's title insurance from when you bought the home, hold on to it, because it can help defend you if your title is ever attacked. And the fifth threat is the one that arrives dressed as a gift in a friendly commercial, promising you tax-free cash out of the very home you worked so hard to pay off. It is the reverse mortgage. Now, I am not going to tell you a reverse mortgage is always wrong, because for a few people, in the right situation, it can be a reasonable choice. But you must understand what it truly is before you ever sign, because the marketing hides the sharp edges. A reverse mortgage is not free money. It is a loan against your home. And unlike a normal loan, the balance grows larger every single year because the interest is piled on top instead of being paid down. Slowly, quietly, the home you owned free and clear fills back up with debt, and the inheritance you meant to leave your family can shrink to almost nothing. And here is the part that surprises people the most. You can still lose the home to foreclosure. Even with a reverse mortgage, you are still required to pay your property taxes, keep up your homeowner's insurance, and maintain the house. If you fall behind on any of those, the lender can foreclose, and seniors have lost their homes in exactly this way. There is one real protection I want you to know about, so you are not needlessly frightened. A reverse mortgage is what is called a non-recourse loan, which means that when you pass away, your family can never be forced to pay more than the home is worth. If the loan grew larger than the house, that is the lender's loss, not your children's. But the home itself, the thing you wanted to hand down, is very often simply gone. So before anyone talks you into one, sit down with a family member you trust and with a housing counselor, and make sure you understand every single trigger that could cost you the house. Now, step back and look at all 5 of these together because they share one quiet thread. A paid-off home feels like the finish line, the one thing in your whole life that is finally completely yours. But not one of these threats cares that the mortgage is gone. Medicaid can claim it after you are gone. The Internal Revenue Service can tax it heavily if you give it away the wrong way. The county can sell it over a tax bill. A criminal can forge your name right off of it, and a lender can slowly fill it back up with debt. Every single one of them works best in silence, counting on you never to ask the one question that would shut it down. The house did not stop needing your protection the day you paid it off. In some ways, that is the very day it started needing it most. So here is what I want you to do this week, and you do not have to do all of it at once. Pick the one that fits your life and take a single step. If you are worried about a nursing home one day, book a sit-down with an elder law attorney before you ever need it. If your property taxes are heavy, call your county and ask about a senior deferral. If you are about to add a child to your deed, stop and ask about a trust instead. And no matter what else, look up your county recorder today and sign up for their free property fraud alert, because that one takes about 10 minutes and it guards the very thing you spent your whole life paying for. You built this. You earned it, payment by payment, year by year. The least the world owes you is that it actually stays yours and passes to the people you love, exactly the way you intended. So take one step this week, and then let yourself feel what it is to know that the home is truly protected and not just paid off.